Microphone, so I can't mess the microphone up. Okay, so good morning if you are joining on Facebook and YouTube. I'm just in Glasgow at the moment, preparing for our Loch Long retreat. Be inspired by nature. Hopefully you can hear me okay. We're going to do a little bit of qigong flow after we've done some mobilization and some stretching. So taking your feet shoulder width apart. Hopefully you can see all right. That should be okay there. Taking your feet shoulder width apart. Nice and tall through the spine. Let's just start off with knocking. So really lightening and lifting the upper body. See if we can get a bit more light here. Oh, as it breaks the light. Oh no, that's not going to work. It's going to collapse if I move that. And really focus on that connection with the ground. So nice and strong with the feet connected to the ground. Softness in the knee so you can get that little bit of rotation through the knee. And nice and strong in the hips too. And then just gently, lightly lifting and lengthening the spine. And then when you're ready, just that little bit of weight shift. If you've got any pain in the hips or anything like that, then just take it easy. But just shifting the weight from one side to the other side. You do that by just bending the knee on the side that you're shifting the weight to. So really strong through the legs, through the hips. Doesn't have to be a big weight shift either. It's just a subtle weight shift. And then back to balance, and then just gradually slowing down into water waves. Gradually slowing, and then coming to a stop. Lengthening and lifting through the spine. And then bending the knees a little bit more. Let's do some spinal cord. Opening the chest, opening the throat as you're breathing in, and then tucking the pelvis under as you're breathing out. Go nice and slow and smooth, nothing forced. On your next inhale, just rotate to one side, breathing in. Breathing out down the same side. Breathing in up the same side. Breathing out back down the center. And then go the other side, breathing in. Staying on that side, breathing out, tucking the pelvis, breathing in, breathing out down the center. Just go one more on each side, repeating that same pattern. And then when you've done that, just take a moment, standing, nice and tall. And then a bit of dog wags the tail, shifting side to side. Again, using the ground. So pushing down into the ground. Shifting that weight side to side. And then free up the upper body so that spine just wave on top. Hips leading. And then that spine follows. Excuse me. And it's like imagining you have a tail from the tailbone, and that's an extension of the spine. So if you're swishing your tail, it creates that spine wave through the spine, through the back. And then gradually slow it down, slow it down. Feels nice. And a little bit of a shake, whatever type of shake you want, whether you want a gentle shake or you feel you can manage a little bit more vigorous shake. Just really freeing up, particularly the shoulders, the upper back. Just tapping your heels into the ground if that works. Getting vibration through the body, through the joints, through the muscles, through the bones. And let's do a little cleansing and clearing breath. So nice, calm, full breath in through the nose. And just as many as you feel you need. Just 2 or 3. And then slowing it down, slowing it down, slowing it down. Standing and feeling tingling sensation running through the body. Maybe taking a nice, slow, calm, full breath. That little pause at the top. And just letting go. Let's do lifting the sky. So this is a nice one. I'm enjoying this one at the minute because again it combines that sort of like strength of the tiger squat, but just with a little bit of a stretch as well. So we did this on Tuesday. So you're just going, I know you can't see fully here, but just going into a squat position, dropping down, coming up, and then you're just lifting up. So here you can have that little bit of a stretch, and then out to the sides, and again drop. And when we drop down, remember you're not tilting, don't think of it as leaning forwards. Drop the hips, keep the spine long. So it's almost like you've got your chest facing forwards. So it's not about how low can you go tilting forwards, it's about dropping your hips, dropping your center of gravity, then coming up. Good. You might want to go a little bit wider on the feet as well. Make sure you're shoulder width apart. Stretch out the arm line, stretch out the fingers. Couple more. Good, nice and smooth. And then take a rest. Good. Again, if you need to shake anything out a little bit, shake the legs out if you really need to shake the legs out. Put my cup right in front of my clock so I can't see what time it is. There it is, I can see the time now. Let's go a little bit wider. I know, sorry you can't see my lower body, but I'm going wider now on the stance. So I'm about a shoulder and a half width apart. I'm not going into a squat this time. I'm just literally dropping the centre of gravity. I'm just lowering the centre of gravity down. So you'll just feel that little bit of stretch through the thighs there. So you don't have to go too deep. Make sure your knees are gliding over in line with the toes. I'm doing all of this movement, you can't see a thing. So make sure, and you can't see there either because I'm in black and I've got a black wall, but make sure your knees aren't coming in or going out too much. And we will just do that push out. It's like you're pushing walls to the side and then back in, and you stand tall as you come back in. And again, push out. Think of this again as a stretch through the arm lines, fingers towards the ceiling. You can soften there. Nice and tall through the spine, shoulders down. Good. And then take a rest. And again, have a little move around, a little shake. And let's mix up a few of the 5-element flow movements now. So we've done our mobility, we've got the energy flowing through the body, we've done a nice bit of stretching, particularly with the upper arms, and strengthening with the lower body. It's moving into our flow. And let's just start off with opening the flow. So breathing in, breathing out. Remember, all of the flow movements are full body flow. So you might feel you're rocking slightly towards the heel as you're breathing in, and then rocking slightly towards the ball of the foot as you're breathing out. Relaxing the shoulders, just letting the arms be heavy, elbows heavy, but soft. Bring your attention to the spine and feel that spine wave as you breathe in, that spine lengthen as you breathe in, and then keep strong as you breathe out. Feel that spine wave. Think about the back of the body, how your back is moving. And then take a rest for a moment. Let's do Buddha holds up the earth, breathing in. Again, spine wave. Breathing out. It's a very subtle difference with this and lifting the sky. So we're not actually overstretching, we're not stretching our arms here. We're keeping that softness in the elbow. Still being strong through the arms. But if you imagine lifting a heavy object, you wouldn't just really force your arms or straighten your arms up. You'd have that little bit of softness there to lift that heavy object. And you'd use the whole body, you'd use the ground, back of the body. Taking a rest when you're ready. Let's do a little bit of Zen circle. So you're placing one palm, one hand, back of the hand on the lower back, and then we're using that circle. So the other arm starts there, back of the palm towards the forehead, and then we'll do hips lead, bend at the waist, big circle. Rotate. Keep a softness in the knees, just let the knees bend. And then keep the circle going, but without the bend in the waist. So still the hips leading, just making that circle smaller. So without that hinge at the hips. And then let's do a smooth transition, swapping sides and going in the other direction, but we'll start with the hips leading and then hinging at the hips. So Nice big scoop. And then making that circle smaller, still leading from the hips and the waist, but without the hinge. And then take a rest. Moving into tree sways in the wind, so palms facing up. Excuse me. Palms facing up. And then we rotate, lengthening up the side of the body. Pointing to the crown of the head, rotate back to center. And then out. Shedding your leaves. And then other side. This is a good one. When you think of the breath pattern, there's that little pause at the bottom. Then you're breathing in. And there's that hold at the top. So in a way, it's a similar breath pattern to box breathing. Now, obviously when we're doing the qigong, we're not necessarily counting. But it's always useful to have in mind what we're doing with the breath. You're having that little pause. You're training the breath to manage the pauses, manage the spaces between the breath. Nice smooth exhale. So again, you're training your body to build tolerance to the CO2. We're slowing the breath with the movement. But the key is when you're doing the qigong that you don't want to feel as if you're out of breath. So if you're struggling with a breathing pattern, just breathe easily in and out through the nose. Let's do one more to each side. And take a rest. It's always nice to have in mind when we're doing the flows, the breathing pattern. But remember, these flow movements should never feel as if you're trying or pushing or forcing. It should never feel like an exercise. It's just that idea of just that nice, smooth, fluid, easy movement and smooth, fluid, easy breath. Let's do cloudy hands. So one palm facing your heart center, your chest, put the palm down. Leading from the hips and the waist, you almost like get a figure of 8 from the hips and the waist. I really must remember, if I come and do this one session here again in this hotel, not to wear black, because I just blend into the black background, which I just noticed you can't see me moving. Nice and smooth, tall through the spine. Doesn't have to be a big twist. Really keep the back of the neck long, the back of the neck lengthened. So you're getting that movement through the upper back, rotation through the upper back, shoulders relaxed. Constant movement. Flow is constant movement, so make sure it doesn't become robotic. So there's movement towards the change of direction all the way through this. Movement in the shoulders all the way through. Keep tall, lifting through the spine, lifting from the crown, and then when you're ready, take a rest. Pebble in the pond. Again, don't overreach, don't have to reach too far in front. Just breath out. Breath in as you're gathering back towards the center. And then just bringing the hands together, just resting just below the belly button, bringing your feet together. Just closing your eyes and just allowing the body to rock and sway and unwind. Now taking a calm, full breath in through the nose, and at the top of that breath, opening your eyes, stepping out, giving yourself a gentle brush down. Excellent, and we will finish there. We didn't do any breath work at the end there, but it was nice just to continue that go all the way through that 5-element flow. So I'm going to nip down and get some nice breakfast now from the hotel, and then drive up to our car and do the retreat for the weekend. But I will be back on Tuesday morning in London. So have a great rest of the day. Have a fantastic weekend. And thanks for joining me, and I will check my email. So yes, I will have a look. Thanks a lot. Take care. Have a good weekend.
Thanks. Bye.
See you later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Recording stopped.